Hey, hi. It's getting into the evening now. I ran out to meet with a friend. She's having some family issues, and I was concerned, wanted to just touch base with her, and we chatted. And she asked me if reliving some of this stuff, as she's been following some of these videos, is traumatizing me. Now, she's in the business. I'm not going to say what she is, but if I said ACEs score, she would totally understand. But she was concerned about me and how am I handling doing all these. And I told her I was committed, to the vertical, and I'm going to plod through the best I can. And is it hard? Well, I've been sharing it, and yeah, it's hard. So I balance it by doing one like difficult one, like I just talked about, sleeping in the kitchen in Lodi. Oh, I when I think about it, I think I must have blocked it out because I have knowledge that it happened, but I don't, there's no emotions attached. Probably because I was starting to experiment with a little bit of the wacky stuff. And so anyhow, okay, now we're going to talk about prom. I met this guy. He was a teacher at the school, but he was like a substitute. So he was a college student that stepped in. He was a couple years older than me, liked me, had a car. I really had a boyfriend already, but I kind of wanted to go to the prom, and he wanted to take me. So, all right, his name was Vince. And the minute I said yes, I regretted it. Because I realized you don't just go to the prom, you go to the after thing in New York, and then after that's over at 3 in the morning, you drive to the beach, like Seaside Heights or Atlantic City or wherever it is. And it's kind of like a weekend long event. And I was like, I don't want to spend all that time with Vince. I knew he could drive us over to Manhattan and he could afford the bid. And my Gram liked him, and he picked me up once or twice. I think we went out to eat. It wasn't one of those kind of, yeah, I regretted it. But then again, check this out. We went to this fancy Cotillion. Graham took me to Manhattan. I think we went to Gimbel's to buy this dress, and it was white and shiny. And back then I had what I call Mimi eyes. They're all blue, all the way up to the brow, blue. And white lipstick and gloves and a blue shawl. And I guess for the time it was pretty. I have a picture. So after the prom and the dancing and all that, whatever, who's the king and the queen, I wasn't in the running, so who cares, right? A bunch of us decided we're going over to Manhattan, and, like it was prom night everywhere. So Manhattan was just full of prom everywhere. And we went, there was about 10 of us, ended up at the Copa. Yeah, the Copa Cabana. Yeah, really, I know. Go from sleeping in the kitchen, okay, and going on a date with this gentleman who could afford the bid, because the boyfriend I had, he was cute and all, but he couldn't afford anything. He didn't have a car. He borrowed his brother's car. So here I am. We go to the Copa Cabana, and I'm like, yeah, and they're taking pictures, and I'm lapping it up because I'm nobody from nowhere, and all of a sudden I'm somebody with other somebodies, and I'm somewhere. It's so cool, man. I was like, life has these yo-yos, like really bad over here. So I failed to mention that when Vince came and got me, he had the flower, and he brought a gift for my dad and for my Gram. Yeah, he's a real suck up. Just sorry. I liked the guy, but we weren't going anywhere, And, he was a freshman or a sophomore in college. And back then that seemed like so far off, like I wasn't interested. So the Four Tops, let's talk about the Four Tops. I wrote down, I had to go back and listen to this music. And remember I was talking about the other videos about Let the Music Take You Away. It was like, reach out. And the other song was, okay, ain't no woman like the one I got. And then it's the same old song. That one. And the Tops, they were dressed in tuxedos. I mean, they weren't just like at a concert and they always had nice suits on. And Motown, I had Motown records all over the place, man. I loved Aretha and I loved Motown, everybody and Diana and the whole deal, man. I was like really big. I like the sadness of it, and then Bernadette, they sang all their top songs, and I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. Sugar pie, honey, but and they do all these choreographed moves and back and forth. And as a cheerleader failure, I could not. So I admired anybody who could sink it and move it and groove it and swerve and derve. I had so much fun. I thought I had died and gone into like a movie. I'm like, am I really here? Pinch me. And there's a picture of me somewhere in the garage. I have to dig because it's in boxes of Grammie stuff. But yeah, the prom. So after the prom, a lot of people were going down to their families' houses on the shore and everything else. So I'm sorry to say, yes, I was selfish and self-centered, and I ditched Vince. And I went and met up with my boyfriend and his brother and his girlfriend. I was about, 8 or 9 of us, and we all went down the beach the next day. And that was a really good time. And yes, I did do a little of this. I wasn't a big drinker because it was distasteful to me because of my dad. And my mom was already saying, you're just like your dad. You're just like, I didn't want to. And I thought that would make me different. Whatever. And more on that later. Okay, so that is the prom, the Copa Cabana, and the 4 tops. Yeah, all right. And is that it? Oh, ease the pain. That's what this did. Because, listen, you go from the sublime to the ridiculous, because when I did come home from the shore, I was there sleeping with the lights on in the kitchen again. Didn't matter if I had all the cookies I could eat or, the nice clothes they tried to buy me or whatever. My life was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And the next coming attraction is going to be what happened that my mom had to come and pick me up and take me back. Woo! But I'm okay. All right, guys, I love you. I think that's it for tonight. It's like 7 o'clock, and I worked hard on this, and I skipped some stuff, but yeah, I gave you the content, and I love you. And whoever you are out there, good night and God bless. Red Skeleton, my favorite.